everyone, and welcome to my first tutorial on Sage from Scratch. Today I'm going to do a recipe that my dad made all the time when I was a kid that we just loved. It's very simple and always good. It's in this old recipe book that we had around the house when I was a kid, full of just magazine clippings and whatnot. On the very front in the sleeve at the top is this recipe, my dad. It was his go-to. So we're gonna make cookie bars today. So I've started with getting my pan ready. I always like to spray with baking spray. Baking made with flour is the best, I think. And then put parchment paper on it. This is gonna make cleanup and ease of getting it out of the pan super easy. So get that prepped. And then I've got all my ingredients out and my oven is preheating to 325. Okay, so first we're going to start with butter and sugar and creaming that in our KitchenAid or any electric mixer you have. It's gonna be the easiest. You wanna make sure that your butter is softened. I know a lot of times we forget to do that and you wanna microwave it or something. You can do that. I will say it'll never be as good as when you actually soften it. You want about 2 hours or so, ideally, depending on the temperature in your house. You can actually soften butter too much, so leaving it out the night before or something usually isn't the best option either. 2 to 3 hours is, again, ideal. And I'm using Kerrygold Irish butter. You don't have to. It just, to me, adds a little extra something. And unsalted butter, by the way. That in there, and then we've got 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and then 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Now brown sugar is got to be packed, so for those of you who don't know what that means, you spoon it in and then you press it down with the spoon until it is solid in here at 3/4 cup. It'll come out kind of like a full form, like that. Then I'll put that in the KitchenAid with the paddle attachment and beat it until it's smooth and creamy, probably about a minute. All right, now that that's combined really nicely, we're gonna add 1 egg and just beat that on low until it's combined, and just until it's combined, not too long. Okay, now we wanna get our dry ingredients together. So I've got 2 1/4 cups of flour. Do 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of just table salt. All right, and then we'll just whisk that together. Once that's mixed, we will just turn our mixer onto low speed, just stir, and spoonfuls at a time, just slowly add the flour mixture to the sugar mixture. It's always good every now and then to stop your mixer, use a rubber spatula and scrape down the sides of the bowl. This will ensure that everything is getting mixed together properly. All right, the amount of chocolate chips that you use is totally up to you. About 1 cup is standard. So now that all of your ingredients aside from this are mixed together, we'll just pour those in and then just stir it until they are mixed in enough to the batter. Okay, now we have our dough. We are going to transfer it to our 9x13 glass baking dish with parchment paper, and then we'll just spread it around nice and evenly. You can use your hands, you can use a rubber spatula, whatever's easiest. All right, now I'm just gonna pop this into the oven for 20 minutes, again at 325. All right, I just took these out of the oven. I ended up going a little closer to 25 minutes, so anywhere between 20 to 30 is probably good. You want the edges to be a little darker than a golden brown, and the top can be that golden brown. A slight wobble is good, but nothing too heavy. You want to be able to cut them. And then I do let these cool just because otherwise it's kind of impossible to cut without them spilling everywhere. You can always eat it with a spoon though if you just need it right now and you want it warm. All right, now that this is somewhat cooled, it's sunken down and it's firm, it's not totally cool, but well enough to do this. To get it out of the pan, you just grab two sides of this parchment and you just pull it out. It's super, super easy. And you just have to rinse your pan. Then you just cut it straight on this parchment, kind of however you want. And then from there you can start transferring to whatever pretty platter you want to put it on. But here, let's see. Still gooey, chocolatey, but able to cut into a shape. It's kind of exactly what you're going for. Thanks.